Sedex South Asia October 2021 conference. We will be starting the event very soon. So we're just allowing some time for our audience to join in. Those who have joined in, please check your system. If you see my only lips moving or you're not able to hear me, you should see there's an option to unmute the video. And again, for technical questions, please use the Q&A option. Right, so once again, thank you for joining us today. It is my pleasure to welcome you all for the Sedex South Asia conference. I'm Vishal Lonte, and I will be the session host for now. So I'm head of the office for Indian subcontinent at Sedex, and I'm excited again to welcome you and introduce today's sessions. We have seen how pandemic disrupted the global supply chains, and companies had to bring in the innovation in very limited time. The challenge for companies really is to make their supply chain more resilient without weakening their competitiveness. The significant impact that supply chain and the operations have on the planet and society are not meeting stakeholders' expectations or sustainability, and that could be another issue and the challenge for companies. So with this, we set the 2021 virtual conference theme, a sustainable value chain, a key to business resilience. We will deep dive into the discussion with industry experts on how their businesses looked at this change. First, we will look at the textile industry in terms of their supply chain, the issues, best practices, and hear from organizations and also from the industry associations. Then we will look at the business case. So a business case for sustainability in particular. This will be to hear from the procurement professionals on how their brands made successful business case for the sustainability. So how they actually look at, because most of the time this comes as a key challenge. Then we will look at the auditor perspective, especially on health and safety and hygiene, their findings during the factory visit, and you will find the more details on each session in the agenda tab. Before you click on any agenda tab now, I would suggest opening that into another tab, because if you do open, the video will stop and you will have to go back to the agenda and join session. So as we have a packed agenda for today with eminent speakers, I would encourage all of you to participate in the session by asking questions to our speakers. Now, I'm going to provide you a quick technical overview on how you ask this question, and then I'll hand over to our today's first opening remarks. So first thing first, I can see a lot of you already here, which is great. And now how you ask questions. So what you are seeing currently is on right-hand side of the video stream, you have the option for asking Q&A, sort of the questions to any session panelist or the speakers. If you're not able to see that option, you will see the arrow pointing towards the right. Please click on that and it should open this session where you will have Q&A. So you can use that one to ask the question. So during the live session, you can use that one. But as I said, if you do want to visit the other tabs, please keep these into separate one. So we're going to test this now, just to make sure everyone is able to hear me fine. So if you all can just add a comment right now in the Q&A, so it will at least let our team know that you are able to hear me. My screen is visible. Also, you can sort of if there is any technical challenges you're having. So we're gonna give here a minute or two just to make sure you all can see the details. Right, I can see a lot of you are asking questions whether the session is started. Um, Again, if you're not able to watch this video, uh, please select or please check your settings. Again, our team is putting the comments. Obviously, if you're not able to hear me, you should be able to see the comments from our team coming in. So again, I'm gonna give it just a brief moment here for people to get familiar with the system. So I'm gonna bring up my screen one more time, where you will be able to see where to ask the questions. Right, so if you're able to see this one, there should be a Q&A tab. And I'm just going to quick check again one more time that you all are able to see that one and able to ask, because throughout the different sessions today, it is the same setup where you will able to ask the questions. Excellent. So thank you all for putting in those comments. I can see, yes, my video is clear, audio is clear as well. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the session. So the other thing which I would encourage all of you to look at. So again, this is kind of the hybrid in the time of COVID. So this is how the launch functionality looks like. And if you do wish to network with other peers in the industry or to discuss with our partners, there is a launch dedicated area which is now open. So you can do the live video chat or live video actually discussion with any attendees there. And Sedex staff is also there. So if you do have any questions related to the Sedex, you can use the Sedex support in the launch area. So during networking breaks as well, I encourage all the participants to visit the exhibitor or the launch area. But again, if you do wish to do during the session, make sure you have in the different tab. And finally, I would like to thank you, our event partners. So we have GSCS International, TV, Renland, Kima, Control Union, and Intertech. So a special thanks to them for supporting us for this event. So again, if any of the attendees wish to chat with their team, you will find them in the exhibitor tab. And also there are dedicated tables in the lounge area where you can discuss and chat with them. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Walter Lin. So he's the managing director for Sedex Asia. Walter will be providing you updates from the Sedex side, what we actually be up to during the last 2 years. Obviously, we didn't have the physical events as such, so he will be giving an overview from a Sedex perspective. Once again, welcome you all. And now I hand over to Walter. Walter, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vishal. I hope everyone can hear my voice okay. So morning, afternoon, everyone. Once again, thanks so much for your time to join the Sedex South Asia Conference. And I'm so pleased to have these opportunities to share some updates from Sedex. I understand that most of the participants today are Sedex members, but still there are some non-members and stakeholders in here as well. So please let me firstly to give you a very quick briefing on Sedex. So Vishal, can you turn on the slide? Just 1 second, just loading the presentation. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, next one. Yeah. Yeah, so let's first talk about who we are, just a little bit briefing on who we are. So as you know that we are a global membership organization. So we support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We provide platform, methodology, tool, and the relevant services to support and enable our members to improve their social and environmental performance in their global supply chain. And in here, I'm going to list out some of our member logos and our members located in over 180 countries and regions, covering over 35 sectors. Next slide, please. So in the coming slides is showing out some of our member logos. So our members reach out to 60,000 as today, including leading international brands and retailers such as Walmart, Marks Spencer, Tesco, Pepsi-Cola, etc. But also some government and industry organizations such as London Olympic Game Committees, Australian government departments of the Home Affairs. Additional to that, small and medium-sized companies in the global supply chain, such as farms, factories, and service providers like logistic companies, the warehouse are our members. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, our members covers over 35 sectors, including different type of the organization as I list in here. And with the recent years, we have seen more and more companies join in membership organization or industry initiative like Sedex to start their own response supply chain program. Obviously, we understanding companies need to meet consumer expectation, meet the direct customer needs, but we could also see that more requirement will now come from the wider stakeholders, such as the government, the capital market, to ask the companies to take further actions or provide a quick response. So I will give you some examples. So for example, to encourage companies to take action to ensure human rights and to reduce environmental impacts in their supply chain, the European Union, the EU, announced the mandatory legislation on due diligence in March of this year. Also, following by the UK and Australia Modern Slavery Act, New Zealand is now also taking the further step to look at that as well. From the capital market, ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance, has become shorthand for investment methodologies that embrace ESG and sustainability factors as a means of helping to identify companies with advanced business models. The companies need to report and disclose their performance and actions toward ESG, including the key areas like human rights, health safety, environmental management. We know that in Indian market, for example, ESG reporting in India started in 2009, with the Ministry of the Corporate Affairs issued a voluntary guidance on corporate social responsibility as the first step. And now it is the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, BRSR, which the 9 principles covering the social and environmental elements. Similarly, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange had a similar requirement to ask companies to disclose this information as well. Additional to that, many new generation trade agreements, such as EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, have sustainability rules built in it. It will focus on the sustainable trade and the shared vision on labor, corporate social responsibility, and environmental conservation. All these external requirements, we're now asking the company to have more transparency, more data reporting disclosure, and a more open and proactive communication. So how we as a membership organization that we could help our members in response to these external requirements and providing them more support and guidance. Next slide. Next slide. So as we mentioned previously, and because we are a membership organization, so our members cover 35 sectors in different countries. So the first step, we're launching a new project to help us to understand our members better. As we understand that the maturity of our members in their sustainability journey is different. Some are the leaders who already look at their social impact assessment. Some just start to understanding the compliance requirement. So the more we understand them better, the better we could offer the best possible support and service to members in their journey. Also, we are making a better membership onboarding journey that small and medium-sized companies could start the relevant actions in Sedex platform quickly. Also, the localized guidance will help them to better understanding the compliance assessment requirement. In our regional markets, we already offer the welcome call or welcome webinars let members to really get a chance to know about Sedex better and get ready for their Sedex membership journey easier. For larger companies who use Sedex to managing their supply chain, the onboarding process will help Sedex to know more about the company's sustainability policy and framework, the actions they have taken so far, so that the Sedex team could offer tailor-made suggestion or solution to support them as well. And come to the post-onboarding engagement. Since May of this year, we officially launched the Sedex community program, let members to could take part into various physical and virtual events, workshops, working groups, that they could share the best practice and the common challenges. And always we talk about the values we create for our members. So how to adding more value for our members, especially for the small and medium-sized companies in the supply chain. So one way, we will continuously offer essential tool and methodology that could better prepare for the compliance assessment. In the other way, we have developing some tools that small and medium-sized companies that they could take away and implement these into their day-to-day business operation to enhance their own management system. For example, a suite of the tool that including SAQ, self-assessment questionnaire, management control score, and improvement guidance, which the companies could self-assess and find the gaps among peers and find out the areas they could make improvement. Also, our enhanced member directory functions, where we hope companies could raise their response business profile to showcase their achievement related to sustainability, that they could gain more business opportunities. In the slide here, the community, this is just to recap the community program we have launched since May. Here today, we have over 2,000 attendees to join the 17 different virtual events covering 39 countries and regions. Member of feels that while taking part into this type of community event, they could get closer to Sedex, they could have more chance to share and learn from other members. Additional to our better support our member, as I mentioned just now, we also have made some key changes for our product and service as well. Next slide, please. So one way, we are rebuilding our sustainability data sharing platform to help members to get on Sedex journey simple and easy, but also support our member on better response to the external reporting and information disclosure requirement. As you may all know about that, two of the key Sedex response supply chain assessment products, Sedex self-assessment questionnaire, SAQ, and the Sedex members as trade audit program, Sedex Simeta, we are now evolving our methodology in these two areas that will incorporate broader UN or international framework, enhancing its capacity to detect critical social or environmental issues such as forced labor or energy consumption. Also, we wish these two products with the updated methodology that could enable our members to reach our further tier of their global supply chains. Simeta is one of the leading mainstream on-site assessment programs for response supply chain. We will continuously enhance our Simeta audit program as well. Last but not least, in response to our member needs on response supply chain management in the context of ESG, but also the legislation such as EU Supply Chain Due Diligence, Modern Day Slavery Act, we just launched our consultancy services as well last month to provide a guidance and advisory for members in their journey for response business. So Back to the South Asian market, I think this is a key region for Sedex. Based on the number of members or the number of the CMETA audit conducted in the market, we're also understanding this is a key sourcing region for international trade. We're pretty sure these areas will be the key hub for international trade and global sourcing for the next 10 years. But at the same time, we're now seeing that local brands and retailers are gradually taking their action on response supply chain management. One way, they wish to raise their response business profile to the international market. The other way, they will meet the local government legislation around business responsibility, such as Indian BRSR reporting. We're proud that we're setting up our office 2 years ago in this region to support our members. During these 2 years, we also reach out to local companies and local governments and industry associations. And also ensure that we are talking ourselves in a local way. We are bringing the insight from the international market to the local context, but also sharing the local agenda with the wider global membership community. We're looking forward to working with everyone in the local market and try our best to contribute what we could do to support and drive the response business agenda in the regional level. So that's the end of my presentation, and hope you are now getting a better understanding on what we are doing at the moment. Today's event is a good example of how we connect locally. We hope everyone can enjoy this event and wish you all have a nice day. Thank you. And I think that's the end of the sessions.
Okay.
I will pass back to my colleague Vishal on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter, for such a wonderful remarks. Now, I would request all the attendees that they can use the Q&A. If you do have questions to our staff, please do use the Q&A option. Now, for the next session, it will be starting in the next few minutes. So to join the next session, on the right-hand side, you should be able to see the upcoming session. There will be a link, join session. If you're not able to see, I would recommend please visit the agenda. It's on the top of the tab. Then you will be able to see join session. So just a few minutes prior to each session, so throughout today, you will be able to see the sessions back to back, and there is a networking breaks as well in between. So I would encourage everyone to look at the area for networking break and for joining the session. The best way to do is you will have the link just right to the session there. Otherwise, if you don't see that one, please click on an agenda and the time will be shown as per your local time zone, wherever you are joining us from. So that's the end of the first session. And we will be disconnecting now. So please join us for the next session. Thank you.